including the delivery and storage of propofol.
The initial autopsy says that he died of an accidental overdose, propofol. So investigators are going back to try to match up the drugs in his system with the different prescriptions he had and the doctors who wrote them.
The investigation revealed that Jackson was using various names to fill dozens of different drug prescriptions.
He had 19 aliases, including his own son, Prince Michael.
Journalist Ian Halperin had been investigating the pop star for his book Unmasked, The Final Years of Michael Jackson.
My sources were extremely concerned and thought that they should have had him checked into a hospital instead of announcing a major concert. There was also an account that he told his daughter Paris that he might not make it till Father's Day.
Ian made headlines for correctly predicting in December that Michael would be dead within 6 months.
Michael suffered from a potentially fatal lung disease, alpha-1. He had anorexia, bulimia, skin cancer.
Many believe that Michael's addiction to prescription medication began in the 1980s. The singer suffered second and third degree burns on his scalp and face when his hair caught fire on the set of a Pepsi commercial shoot in 1984.
When he had to have skin grafts, and he tried to have hair transplanted, that in itself is painful, and that caused him to use additional drugs.
In the 1990s, MJ entered a rehab facility in an attempt to get his addiction under control.
He was a child at heart, and so it was very hard for him to kind of admit he had a problem and be able to do anything about it.
As recently as 2006, Jackson family members were still concerned about his dependence on prescription drugs.
Michael Jackson's family tried on multiple occasions to do an intervention, and it just didn't work. Every single time it failed.
Michael would give instructions to the gate guards not to let his family in. One of the brothers actually rented a helicopter and tried to fly into Neverland, the security guard tells me, and he went out to the field and had to tell him, I think it was Tito, sorry, Michael does not want you here.
This is a man who was so famous and had so much money and so many people around him that he was able to get away with so much for so long.
I asked some of his employees, why would these doctors keep giving Michael Jackson drugs? He knew the doctors he could shop for who would give him the Gucci bag of pills that he was after.
But the years of alleged drug abuse caught up to the singer in June 2009. Just 4 days before Jackson died, Dr. Sherilyn Lee received a troubling phone call from someone in the Jackson household.
He was very frantic, and he said, Michael needs to see you right away. And I said, what's wrong? And I could hear Michael in the background, tell her that one side of my body is hot and one side of my body is cold. And at that point, I knew that somebody had given him something.
When we come back, Paris Jackson breaks down. Plus, surprising revelations about the child custody case.
I'm the biological mother of all 3 children.
And later, did Michael die broke?
He borrowed so much over the years.
Welcome back to this E! News special, The Death of Michael Jackson. As rumors continue to circulate about what or who killed the King of Pop, Jackson's family, friends, and fans gathered in Los Angeles for a star-studded farewell. Even in death, Michael Jackson was the hottest ticket in town. More than 1.6 million people registered online in the random free drawing to attend MJ's LA Memorial on July 7th.
We never thought that we would be picked, but although we kept checking all day.
The LAPD prepped for the horde of Jackson fans to descend upon downtown LA. The memorial service reportedly cost the city of LA $1.1 million.
The amount of police that were put on in order to make sure it was a secure event and there were no problems was quite astounding. And who's going to pick up the bill for that? Is it the Jackson family's responsibility? Is it AEG's responsibility? Or is it in fact the Los Angeles taxpayers' responsibility?
The night before the public memorial, the family attended a private service at Forest Lawn Cemetery. Cameras caught Michael's daughter Paris appearing to be in tears. The day of the tribute, a portion of California's Highway 101 was shut down for the procession into Forest Lawn, and our Sal Masekela was there
The scene here at Forest Lawn had a very heavy police and CHP presence, as well as dozens of media outlets from around the world. Fans ended up gathering across the LA River. When the family procession arrived, you could hear them cheering and whistling. Inside Forest Lawn, we then saw Katherine Jackson, Michael's mother, and his 3 children make their way into the private memorial service.
Afterwards, the Jackson family headed downtown for the public service. The pallbearers included brothers Jermaine and Randy, who wore white gloves like the one Michael made famous, a loving tribute to their brother, the King of Pop.
Fans said that this gave them some closure. But what was the most striking to me about that event was we saw the children unmasked.
For the first time, all 3 of Jackson's children were revealed. Prince Michael, Paris, and Blanket were on stage, surrounded by the Jackson family. When Paris stepped up to the mic, her emotional words captured the heart of the world.
I just wanted to say, speak up, sweetheart, speak up. Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
For the first time, we saw the humanity. We saw Paris in an amazing moment saying she loved her dad.
But even as Paris spoke, the big question on everyone's mind was, who will get custody of the kids?
Whenever you have a high-profile celebrity with bonus baby children who stand to inherit millions, if not billions, there are going to be a number of people who come forward to claim they're the father, they're the mother of Michael Jackson's children.
The circus that followed Michael Jackson when he was alive has continued in his death. We now have various people coming forward.
A woman named Claire Cruz claims she provided the DNA for the trio.
I didn't give birth, but I am the biological, those are my embryos. I'm the biological mother of all 3 children.
And what does Claire say about Billie Jean Jackson, the other woman claiming to be Blanket's mother?
She could be the surrogate mother, for all I know. I have no way of knowing.
Jackson's longtime dermatologist, Arnold Klein, was also in the mix as a potential baby daddy.
Multiple sources have told Us Weekly that Arnold Klein is the father of 2 of Michael Jackson's children, the 2 oldest, Prince Michael and Paris. And Arnold Klein has responded to this and said that not to the best of his knowledge, while at the same time as admitting that he did give a sperm sample.
And former child star Mark Lester has also come forward, claiming he is Paris's biological father.
We just have to wait and see whether any of these people are going to be forced at any point to take a DNA test.
But it was Michael's ex, Debbie Rowe, who duked it out in court with Katherine Jackson for custody of the children. In a letter to the Post, Debbie's attorney stressed Miss Rowe has not and will not give up her parental rights. Up next, a shocking secret contained in Michael's will.
She had no idea that that was coming, so that was kind of something she was not expecting.
And the truth about what killed the King of Pop. Welcome back, I'm Juliana Rancic. It seems the King of Pop couldn't escape controversy even in death. Everything from his alleged drug use to his finances to the custody and the biology of his 3 children was a source of frenzied debate.
Prince, I wish for you to learn about the true meaning of success, which is love, and to know that you can reach any goal that your heart desires. It's totally up to you. You can do anything you want to do, and I love you. Thank you.
According to his will, Jackson wanted his mother, Katherine, to get custody of his 3 children if he was ever unable to raise them himself.
He looked up to her, he idolized her, adored her, and she gave him the mothering and nurturing that he never got anywhere else.
In the will, Michael also expressed that if Katherine was unable, he wanted his longtime friend Diana Ross to assume responsibility for his kids.
What we know from sources at Us Magazine is that actually that was a shock to Diana. Like, she had no idea that that was coming.
After a 5-week dispute, the custody issue was settled.
Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Mitch Beckloff approved an agreement making Katherine Jackson the children's guardian and preserving Debbie Rowe's parental rights, giving her meaningful visitation with the children.
Debbie would be able to have visitation with her children, which is something that she hadn't had for quite a long time when Michael was alive.
Michael!
The life that Michael Jackson's children are